Super League was back with a bang this weekend, and we will be unwrapping it all tonight on Super League Raw Weekly. The York Knights, Bradford Bulls and Toulouse Olympic put egg on the face of all those pundits that said they couldn't mix it with the best of Super League. All the news, all the gossip, all the transfers as always in Banging or Hanging. The Punch and Judy show that was Harry Newman and Mikey Lewis returned in round one. We'll be finding out what would Oliver say during the show. The removal rounds are in once again at the Brewdog Stadium with Mike Rush departing after 27 years. What does this mean for the Saints? And Team of the Week returns. All this and more live 8 p.m. tonight on YouTube. Super League Raw Weekly. You just can't beat a bit of weekly. This programme is proudly sponsored by BYD, the #1 electric vehicle in the world and the fastest growing brand in the UK car market. BYD in Super League Raw, building our dreams together. And the home of Super League Raw, the Bluebell in Warrington. Make this your pre- and post-game destination for the best food and drink in town. So it's Tuesday, it's 8 p.m. Can only mean one thing, really. Super League Raw Weekly. Good evening, one and all. How are we doing after what was a fantastic opening weekend in Super League? Reggie, good evening.
I'm very well, still recovering. Well, as you can tell by the voice, what a great weekend that was. Loved every second of it.
Absolutely. Steph, brilliant advert for the game.
Yeah, best opening round I can remember in a long time. Brilliant for the game, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it just as much as I did.
Well, I tell you who enjoyed it far more than we did. Mark Applegarth. Let's hear from him. Here we go.
David, how are we?
How are you doing, Mark, mate? You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good to see you. York, explain to me the vibe. I mean, it couldn't have gone any perfect, could it? To beat the champions game one, a bumper crowd. I believe the shirt sales were incredible. What's the vibe around the city?
It seems all right. I live in a little bubble, don't I? We just rock up to a training ground and, live in that little bubble. But the moments I have been in the city for a coffee or at the gym, there's a really good atmosphere. And I suppose the challenge now is to keep that good vibe going, isn't it? So, as I say, they're a real passionate bunch of the York supporters, and the city itself thrives behind its sport team. So, real good at the moment. But as I say, Thursday's been and gone. We've got to fully focused on Leeds now, haven't we, Friday night?
You do. I mean, look, the start of the season, there's a lot of pundits out there writing off the three teams that came up. Of course, you were one of them. The fact that all three performed well, it's a long way to go. There's 26 more rounds. But I think the fact that all three competed so well this weekend should have answered some of those critics, surely.
Yeah, I don't really tune into all of it, so I don't know what's being said or whatnot. But yeah, listen, I've just said in that previous interview then that people, you're neutral fan, so just want to tune in and watch a competitive game of rugby league, don't they? And I thought every single game on round one was definitely that. As you say, it's early doors in the season, but if we can serve up as a collective here, all 14 teams serve up that style and brand of rugby of 28 rounds, I don't think the spot's in a bad place, is it? So, real positive signs in round one, and as a supporter, first and foremost of the sport, hopefully we see 28 rounds of that. And then selfishly, as a York coach, I'd love to see 28 rounds of what we served up on Thursday night. But we also know that there's going to be some real good eyes, as we saw on Thursday. There's going to be some pretty tough losses as well that we're going to have to suck up as well. And it's about getting that level of consistency, not only in your performance, but how you emotionally regulate that too. So for example, you have a good win, you don't get too far ahead of yourself. If you have a tough loss, you don't get too down on yourself. It's just about keeping that level head and moving forward in an objective manner.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to that, because the criticism was about the depth of quality. I mean, like I say, the lads that you put on the field on Thursday that are stepping up from the championship, they made a real good account of themselves. So, like I say, I think it's only right and appropriate, isn't it, that these guys get a shot, and it looks like they're going to take it.
Yeah, well, that's it. They proved that they could do it in the championship, and who am I to say they can't do it at Super League? In my opinion, there were a number of members of our squad that earned this opportunity, and it makes me really proud as their head coach to give them opportunities. And ultimately, it's up to them now to take them. They've shown that they can play at this level on Thursday night. The challenge now is to show they can play at this level consistently throughout a league campaign. So really proud, as I said, from a playing point of view, that we have got a number of players making that step up, but that's been and gone now. The challenge now is, as I said, like feeling like you belong as a Super League player and showing that through your performances.
Yeah, just going to the actual game on Thursday. Yeah. Obviously, the conditions were atrocious. As a coach, and I'm sure it'll be the same for Oli Peters, I was impressed with the lack of errors. I mean, I was expecting a lot more knock-ons, and I think, again, that bodes well because the handling skills that were on show for both sides in those conditions, it probably, for the future games, it's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we completed 100% completion in yardage, which shows you, just how good we were, and both teams, to be fair, were in terms of that. And it probably reflected on the scoreboard at half-time. I think both teams at half-time were above 90% in terms of the completion rate. There's normally a pretty strong pattern between completion rate and the scoreboard, isn't there? And with both teams completing how they did, I thought it showed you how much of an even game it was. And then I said, as fortunately for us in that second half, we got a bit of a leg up and got momentum behind us. And, it can be a funny old thing, momentum in sport. And we finished strongly, didn't we? And we just need to be aware that not every game is going to be like that. And some games are going to go right down to the wire. And we've got to make sure that we keep creating our own look by making sure we're not wasteful with possession and we're building as much pressure on the opposition as we can.
Oli, you well?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Are you?
Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Just picking up from what Pete said, clearly a lot of your family are going to be Rhinos, so split loyalties this weekend. Conversations been had?
No, not particularly. Everyone's almost turned. I think I've converted everyone to a York fan nowadays. They're just happy to support me. It was funny, I was having a conversation with my missus, who her and her family were always Rhino supporters growing up. So she was saying it's going to be a bit weird being in the away end for once at Headingley. But yeah, I think I've managed to convert everyone to York fans, which is great.
Well, let's hope it's not raining because they won't like being wet, will they? But anyway, no, look, I mean, let's just quickly go back to the test that was on Thursday. You know, to have your first game in Super League against Hull KR, the champions, and coming up against, you know, James Batchelor and Reece Martin in your position. How did you find that, you know, that step up yourself personally on the night?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it, to be honest. Obviously, some pretty big names, and what they did last year was pretty special. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the battle. I enjoyed the grind of the game. It was nice to sort of prove to myself that I can do it at that level. And there's almost nothing to be scared of. Obviously, it was a better quality of player we played against. But no, I enjoyed the whole kind of night and the whole kind of battle of the game. Yeah.
I mean, what impressed me about your performance, look, defence wins games. And I think the biggest reason that you won that game is you stuck in the grind. You defended heroically, especially in the first half. Your tackle completion, I had it about 93%, yours personally. That must be pretty pleasing because that's where games are won and lost, isn't it? Is your ability to defend.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's something I kind of pride my game on, and something that the team prides the game on. We did a lot of work in pre-season on defending our line. We call it hanging tough, where we're defending 40, 50 tackles on our line. So we take a lot of confidence from the way we defended there. And yeah, me personally, yeah, that's great. I'm just happy to do my job, and I need to make my tackles. If I want to be in the team every week, I've got to make my tackles. So.
Yeah, well, you did it superbly well. I thought Adriano stepped up brilliantly as well. It must be tremendous to see him really attacking the line as well as he was on Thursday night, because that's going to open up the edges for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's obviously played about from the moment I signed at York. He's a great guy, and yeah, I'm really pleased for him. I'm really pleased he's getting the headlines a little bit for kicking the drop goal. And when Atta's on form and when he's going well, he's a joy to play with. Like you said, he just opens up space for everyone else. And he also whips like a steam train as well, which helps you if you half can tackle as a back rower. It makes your life definitely a little bit easier. So.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but your try scoring for York, 1 in 3. So that's one game down. Is it going to be against Leeds just to keep it going?
I hope so. I really do. I didn't know that it was 1 in 3. Obviously, playing in the centres last year probably helped that a little bit. Helped me get my ratio up a little bit. But yeah, if I can get a try on Friday, that would be great. But it's not the old cliche. The winning's the main part. If we can get a good performance and grind a win out, then I'll be happier over any try.
I mean, and then finally for me, yes, you mentioned the disappointment about it not working out for you at Leeds, but you hear a lot of professionals say that when they go up against the team that they supported, it just raises the bar within them a little bit more. So even though you're not wearing the amber and blue, how special a night is this going to be for you personally to go and get up against the team that you supported as a boy?
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it'll be pretty special. I think Headingley as a stadium and playing at Headingley as a stadium anyway is pretty special. But yeah, on a personal note for me, it'd be pretty cool to run out under the floodlights. Something that I dreamed of doing, obviously. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, look, mate, many congratulations to Thursday. I thought you were heroic in defence personally and as a team. I wish you nothing but the very best for Leeds and the season ahead. Hopefully we catch up as the season goes on. Take care, mate.
Thank you very much, David. Cheers, mate.
Do you know what? Every time I interview a rugby league player, the humility, champion fellas, love everyone, absolutely superb. Delighted for Oli at the weekend, defensively outstanding. Boys, let's bask in the glory of York Knights 19, Hull KR 18. If ever there was a shot in the arm in round 1 for hopefully our competitive Super League could be, it was this. Greg, as you heard me say there to both Mark and to Oli, it was the defence. Defence kept them in that game. I mean, don't get me wrong, we'll talk about KR in a moment because really KR was in the box seat. We know that. But York stuck in the grind, defended well, and that without that, they would not have won that game.
Oh, no way. I mean, I've just come back to the interviews. What level-headed guys they are. They've just come off the back of quite possibly the most famous win in the club's history, or certainly most recent history. And quite level-headed about it, which is what I love. But yeah, the performance was absolutely awesome. As you say, Oli Field was in that back row, up against a pack that stayed apart from Tanginoa, steered OKR to the treble last season. So yeah, a tremendous performance. I think, we all expected maybe a tight first half and then OKR to get a roll on and to steamroller York. How wrong we were and how disingenuous we were. What a great performance. It was just one of those games where you're just hanging on it every second of the game, and it flew by. But what a great game. What a great game. Loved it.
Well, Volstagg straight in for a beer. Volstagg, good evening to you, sir. I've got one on Wainwright's Gold. It's got your name on it, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Outstanding. Do you know what, Steph? I mean, look, I'm going to just say it. Were we the only podcast out there that said that we were genuinely excited about the 2026 Super League and these teams coming up? And now everybody's eating a bit of humble pie this week because all three did well. But York, absolutely incredible. Probably the greatest, the biggest. I think you said the biggest upset in Super League history in round one. I can't disagree. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
Yeah, well, I don't know about being the only one, but we certainly championed the 14-team Super League, and we did say that there was enough quality. Now, obviously, it is only round one. There's a long, long way to go, but let's not forget, most of these people, were predicting absolute monster scores against these teams. What people need to remember here as well is the opposition they were playing. Not one of those finished below seventh of the three teams that came up played. Hull FC was seventh. Wakefield, who were sixth, I think, weren't they? Right. And then obviously OKR first. So this wasn't, no disrespect to Castleford or Huddersfield, who had poor seasons last year. These were top sides in the Super League last year, and ones that are expected to do well again this year. And I think they humbled them, in terms of the performances. And I think the most impressive thing for me wasn't any tries scored. It was the defensive efforts and how they cope with some very good attacking sides. OKR threw everything at York at one point, and the defence was heroic. And to keep up with the fitness as well, with the new rules, the speed, and I think that caught some Super League sides out this round. So for them to step up in those levels of fitness is very, very encouraging, because you would think it would take them a while to get up to speed. So yeah, fantastic opening round. I made up for all those teams. Hopefully Bradford can have a good performance at home this week. That'll be very interesting to see how they go on there. But yeah, let's just hope it does carry on. And I have no reason to doubt why it won't, given what I've seen so far.
Well, just need to know what team you support, Brad. Oh, it's Castleford Tigers. Became member level of 4020 Lounge. Why not upgrade for just £1 more? Get yourself over to our website, become a 6 Again member, and unlock the lot. But well done, Brad. Great to have you with us. Thanks very much indeed for becoming a member here at Super League Raw. Greg, I mean, we're talking about depth of quality at a Hingano. I mean, for me, showed straight off the bat, he is without doubt good enough to play in Super League. I thought his all-round performance, it wasn't just his drop goal. He looks like a genuine threat half-back. I was very, very impressed with how he stepped up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, David. Probably been overlooked pre-season, definitely overlooked in the build-up to the game. He's against Mikey Lewis, he's up against May, he's up against Lytton, three real good runners of the ball, two creative halves. Again, as I keep saying, the best, probably the best three hooker and halves last season. And yeah, my word, he wasn't phased, wasn't he? He wasn't phased at all. He kind of said, right, this is my chance. I'm going to show you. And he took his opportunity really well. Was really impressed. And if he carries on with that and, he stays injury-free, I think York have got the makings of a decent season this year.
Well, yes, and as for Andy Bibby, mate, I went Warrington by 8 at the weekend, mate, and I was only out by 2. We'll not talk about Greg's prediction. No, I agree. That was an absolute...
Let's leave that one.
That was an absolute shocker. Look, Steph, do you know what winds me up is that throughout social media, throughout most of the podcasts that I've seen up to now, all the concentration is on KR, all of it, which really frustrates me, because this was about York Knights. Now, we know why they were allowed back in, and it's that contentious piece around Mikey Lewis, which we'll discuss in a minute. But York, for me, deserves so much credit. They had no right to be in this game, even when Lewis goes off. When Lewis goes off, KR should still cruise to victory. But what I loved about not only York this week, but also Bradford and Toulouse, never say die. In all of those games, they were all behind and they all kept coming back. And that, again, bodes well for the competition in 2026.
Absolutely, and rugby league for me is 80% attitude. If you go into a game, you've already lost it on the coach, then the good chance you're going to get a good hiding. But if you've got that belief in your side, and that can spur you on that extra bit. And what it showed for me in all those teams is in the off season they must have built a really good team spirit, because you can't defend like all those teams did. If you haven't got that team collaboration, so that bodes well for all of those sides as well. But yeah, everything should be about York this week. They deserve that. What they did was an unbelievable feat. And yes, you could argue that KR maybe had one eye on next week, but that's a slight against KR if that was the case, because as treble winners they should have 100% not been in that mentality. So, and I'm sure they won't be using that excuse either. I just think on the night, York had more in the tank in the end.
Yeah, and I'd tell you what, good evening to all the Casford Tigers fans, and you might be asking why that is. Not all of the Casford Tigers fans, but quite a large proportion of Casford Tigers fans who wrote Sam Wood off last season. Bit of humble pie for you in this game. Sammy Wood, Greg, showing why is an England international. Let's not forget, it was on England international duty that he got his injury, but I thought Sam Wood for York in this game just basically showed this. Don't get me wrong, he's not upper quartile centre, but he's a solid centre. He's Sam Wood.
Yeah, he's a sort of player you need on the edges sometimes. Sometimes you don't need that flair player that some of the biggest sides can afford. Sometimes you just need somebody who will dig in, who will do the right things. And when you do the right things constantly, they tend to come off more often than not. You're quite right, Dave. Nothing spectacular, just solid, finding his way back from, he's had kind of a mixed fortunes with injury over the last few years, finding his way back, probably dropped out the spotlight a little bit, which may have done him good. And yeah, what a great performance. Agreed.
Billy said about Joe Burgess's tash, probably the better. What a shocker that is, Joe. You need to be getting that off your furry lip, mate. Deary me, Joe. What you doing there, Chief? Wow, I have to say, oh, that's not a good look. It really, really isn't a good look, that, Joe. Mate, please, get rid of that. The Dead Red Redemption type tash. It's a shocker. Anyway, that's by the by. Well, let's just have a quick chat on Mikey Lewis. And I want it to be a quick chat on Mikey Lewis because, quite frankly, it's not really worth the headlines. I mean, the bottom line is this kid's got so much talent, but yet again, he's let himself down. Clearly, there was a bit of beef between him and Harris in history. But, Steph, this is what is going to prevent Mikey from being world class if he doesn't sort it out, because he's got the game, and his game should be what does the talking. He needs to shut his mouth, doesn't he? And actually control his foot.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey's an exceptional talent, and he doesn't need to be getting involved in handbags with Harris. He just they've obviously got under each other's skin, and he's felt the need to do what he did. I think it was stupid. Luckily, he didn't actually cause any damage to Harris, which I think has resulted in him getting a grade C. I know a lot of people are saying that he should have been banned, but unfortunately that's not how the world works now in rugby league. It's on a points-based system, and a C grade gets 5 points. He hasn't got any previous because his previous had been wiped off because it was over 12 months ago. So the outcome of the disciplinary was absolutely spot on for me. He got his 5 points. What it will come down to now, though, is any further disciplinary issues with Mikey, he's getting banned. So that's his punishment, as well as a bigger punishment, which is letting his side down, and that's what he did. Not just himself, which is bad enough, but he let his side down and ultimately cost KR a game. They were 10 points clear, I think, at the time when it happened. So that was a bigger punishment than him getting a ban for me. But from a disciplinary point of view, people need to forget about this. You got a red card for it 20 years ago or whatever it was. That's not the rules anymore. And also from a ban perspective, it is on a points-based system, and he was on 0 points. So the outcome is absolutely spot on from the disciplinary panel.
And let's not forget Harry Smith got away with a shocker at Castleford before World Club Challenge. Just saying, might help the grading a little bit. A little bit of English bias. I'm just saying it for what it is. But look, I'd rather Mikey Lewis play in a World Club Challenge. Hopefully he leaves his handbags at home and brings his proper A game with him. We know he's capable. That's just not a good look at all. And I can't ever recall seeing Willie Peters as filthy in a post-match press conference as that. He was blazing. So something tells me Mikey knows regardless of how good he is, that will not be tolerated by Willie Peters. For every Judy, there's a punch. Newman. Oh, dear God. I mean, again, are Leeds risking the fact that Newman's off at the end of the season? Do we expect him to continue this petulance, Greg?
You would hope not. I mean, quickly going back to Mikey Lewis, he's lucky he didn't injure himself and put himself out of the World Club Challenge going to Vegas. So he's very, very lucky that didn't happen. You could call him, a lot of people call these players who have this streak in them flawed geniuses. So with Cantona and both, and then players like that, and Sam Tompkins early in his career. But going back to Newman, sorry, I mentioned the C and the F word there.
Cricket again.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Oliver's in the wings, mate. Remember, Oliver's in the wings. Carry on.
He loves cricket as well, mate. I've told him if he takes the place, he mentions it every week. Newman. He's got to get rid of the petulance. There's no need for what went on. He's known for it, isn't he? And it's the same with Mikey Lewis. They'll get wound up in games, and they've got to be a top professional and to get to the top of the game. They've got to not let themselves get wound up. It's part and parcel. When Steph played, and that's not at the level that these guys are at. People would wind you up, you would wind people up, and you've not got to bite. And that's the main thing. Keep it in. Don't bite. Don't get yourself wound up. Just concentrate on your game. But yeah, let's hope, because he'll get found out in the NRL if he carries on.
Let's give a couple of shout-outs. Craig Lilly's in the chat. Good to see Craig. Always good to see Craig. Paul Fail over there in Canada. He's with us as well. The Fourth is with us. Carl Gibson's with us. Richard Fulis is with us. Gary Hutchinson's with us. John O's with us. Oh, yeah, they're all in there. Absolutely marvellous. So that was a really good big kickoff. All I would say is well done to York Knights. You absolutely made my night. Not because you beat KR. This is nothing against KR, but for the good of the comp. What an incredible start. And of course, Destination Rugby League York, for them to have got off to such a great start, I'm led to believe that the vibe around York Knights in York, it has certainly put them on the map. It'll probably have got them an extra few hundred supporters going to their next game. I think it's against Warrington. It's going to be fantastic. Well done to Mark Applegarth. Well, delighted for Mark. What a story. What a story to start the 2026 Betfred Super League. Right, we're just 24 hours away. This is my last plea. Tickets are still available. Come on, Danny, do your sales pitch.
Hi guys, Danny Walker here. Come and join me down at the Blue Belt on the 18th of February for Alfie's fundraiser. See you all down there.
Yes, outstanding. Danny Walker there doing his sales pitch. And like I say, tickets are still on sale. £12.50, include your hot pot supper. We've done plea after plea after plea for this. The raffle tickets, the raffle prizes are unbelievable. We've got signed shirts from Warrington. We've got signed memorabilia from Wigan. We've got signed memorabilia from Hull FC. I think we've got some from KR. We've got loads. Honestly, the amount of signed memorabilia that we have got as part of that raffle is unbelievable. We've got tickets to give away to Super League games. I think we've got concert tickets to give away. We've got Luke Little dartboards, I'm led to believe, that have been signed. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff that he's going to get given away tomorrow for very, very little money in the Blue Bell, all for a good cause, all going to Alfie's wish list, will be unbelievable. We need you there. There's still time. Please, please, please do the QR code. Go to our website, www.superleagueraw.com. Go to the shop. Action for Alfie tickets, only £12.50. It's going to be an incredible night. You don't want to miss it. Some really, really good prizes, like I say, up for grabs on the night. Please, please do join us. And, of course, the little man himself will be with us. Alfie will be in attendance with his wonderful family. You'll get to meet this very special boy, and I'm led to believe he's got some hard-hitting interview questions as well for our special guests, so that's good fun as well. Little Alfie will be front and centre. Hot pot supper will be served as well as interviews. Get your photos, all of it, all that good stuff. Super League Raw live at the Blue Bell tomorrow night from 7 till 10. Come and join us. Right, let's get through the news. Here we go. Banging or hanging? Yes, it's time for banging or hanging, and there's a few hangers straight off the bat. We may as well go into the closet and put the coat on one straight away. Greg, Blake Taff. I mean, dearie me, ACL has struck Blake Taff. We'll forget Greg, he's frozen. We'll go to Steph. Blake Taff out for the season.
Yeah, well, we know how that feels at Leeds to lose your star fullback to an ACL. It's absolutely devastating for the Cas fans and for him. Nobody wants to start the career off. We had it with Sevo at Leeds, didn't we, last year as well? Same thing. It's devastating for him as a player and also for the Cas fans. But you've got to put shining lights on situations like this. And for me, Fletcher Rooney, he needs to step up now, and he showed glimmers last year of what he's capable of. So he's an exciting young player. So through adversity comes opportunity, and hopefully for Fletcher, this is his opportunity now to cement his place in the squad.
Yeah, and when he's come in, Fletcher Rooney, he's looked the part. So, this is, as you say, big opportunity now because I don't know what their salary cap situation is, and but what I would say is that, they've got Zach Sinney as well, hasn't they? I mean, they put him there last year, didn't they? So that could be an option for him as well. But what we are seeing around Super League is a lot of the younger players being given opportunities. I thought George Brown at Leeds at the weekend against you. What a stellar performance from such a young player. We'll probably talk Kai and other people a bit later in the show. But yeah, let's hope Fletcher gets his shot, because what all these younger lads have showed over the last couple of seasons is when they get given their opportunity, they take it. Bailey Hodgson, case in point, great break for, I think it was the Innis Senior try. Outstanding at the weekend. So let's hope that carries on. We'll wait for Greg to rejoin, so we'll carry on. Liam Moore to officiate at the World Club Championship this coming Thursday. Of course, he officiated the William Penrith one in 24. Without Chris Kendall, pretty much a slam dunk. It had to be Liam, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris and Liam are our two best referees without a shadow of a doubt. I know some fans will disagree with that, but I think factually that's correct. I believe Kendall's got an injury, hasn't he? So sad news for Chris. I thought he had an excellent season refereeing last year. I think it's the easiest choice ever for Phil Bentham, I'm assuming, who's made that decision to have Liam officiating, and hopefully, we're not speaking about him in the nicest possible way. I'm sure he won't. He's a top official.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Quality referee, had to be him. I mean, look, he's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, Grand Finals, Challenge Cup Finals. This is his second World Club. He's been to the World Cup. He's refereed Ashes series. It had to be Liam Moore. Just get the Dallas right here. Just get the Dallas right. What's going on here? There you go. That's better. I always feel better. Happy. Oh, what's going on? Don't move me around. Thank you. Anyway, there you go. Happy day. So well done to Liam Moore. Greg, we were speaking about this before the show started. Barrow Raiders, the latest one. I mean, it's not in the same vein as Halifax, but Barrow, for those who haven't heard this, it's been broke today that Barrow obviously have drawn London in the 1895 Cup, ladies and gentlemen, and Barrow are trying to raise $5,000 to fulfill that fixture because they've not had many home games. I mean, Greg, this is becoming a little bit of a calamity now down in the Championship. It would appear that there's quite a lot of clubs that are absolutely on a shoestring now.
Yeah, that's the problem when clubs kind of go out of business. There's a domino effect that you don't really realise at the time. But if that means you're going to miss out on revenue from 2 or more home games, that's a hell of a lot of money, especially for the lower league clubs who are relying on that footfall and sales of merch and of beers and pies and whatever. So yeah, it could be a big problem if finances aren't sorted out, especially in the lower leagues. So, got a feel for teams that are affected by other teams are kind of falling out of the league because of money issues.
It is a worry. It is a real worry.
It is a real concern.
It has to be said. Back to you, Steph. Former Wigan Warriors and Manly Sea Eagles CEO Tony Mestrov reportedly coming to the Rugby Football League, banging a hanging.
I'll be honest, I don't know who the guy is, so I can't give an opinion.
Well, he was the CEO of the Manly Sea Eagles. He's revered down in the NRL in terms of the way in which his stewardship of that club. He's the leading candidate to lead the Rugby Football League. That's going to be interesting. What I would say, gentlemen, is that will be an NRL influence coming in. Could that be the start of something? Question mark. It is an interesting one, isn't it? We'll keep a close eye on that in the coming weeks. But yeah, Tony Mestrov, the former Manly Seagulls CEO and Wee Warriors player, reportedly in the box seat to take the head job at the Rugby Football League. Interesting times. Right. Hello. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's. We'll keep the like I said. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might be thinking, "Oh, this feels a bit different this year." It is different. Super League Raw Weekly this year, a little bit more conversational, a little bit more different. Not as much boom. Next move to the next thing as it was last year. We're trying to get into some real debate for you, having a really good chat around some of the key things. And in order to help that chat, we will be going to Team of the Week. Team of the Week is, of course, remaining in Super League Raw Weekly. We're going to announce our Team of the Week in a few moments' time. But before we do, I think it's only right and appropriate to just, again, bask in the glory of the weekend that was. Incredible crowds, great viewing figures again on Sky. The only comparable in the 2014 and the 2026-14 Team Super League, very comparable in terms of total attendance over the round. Okay, total attendance, very, very similar. Not an awful lot. Just edged in 2026, we're led to believe, albeit for whatever reason, York did not publish their attendance, which is disappointing. That's the one criticism I've got of York this weekend. Publish your attendances, because we want to know, did it beat the 72,966 back in 2014? But what we can do is we can compare and contrast the 4 games that played in Super League last year, those being Warrington Saints, Castleford Wigan, Catalan Huddersfield, and Leeds. And those games, attendances were up combined 21%. That's phenomenal. Year on year, with a Sky deal that's running out and all the rest of it. That is so. I mean, that was bolstered heavily by Warrington. Warrington's attendance increased by just under 5,000 versus last year. That was where the real magic was. That said, Lee was up as well by about 1,000. Castleford, incredible, 2,200 up at Castleford. So, like I say, overall a 21% increase with the TV deal on the horizon, Steph. These are the type of statistics that hopefully give the Rugby Football League, Super League and IMG a better hand going into those negotiations, because the appetite for Super League is clearly there and growing.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily about the numbers, as daft as that sounds. It's more about how it looks on TV, and every single stadium looked packed. So we're always going to have fluctuations round and round. If we're going to play in Lee, for example, or we're going to play in Saints, you're going to get 25,000. If it's the whole derby, you're going to get 25,000 or whatever. But for me, as a fan of the sport, watching on TV, I just thought all the grounds looked great because they were full of people. And that, for me, is the best message to be sending, that even though every game is televised as well, because this is another myth that's been busted by some so-called experts, that every game being on Sky are going to affect attendances. Well, clearly not.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thank you to Jill over there in Canada. She's gone in with a super chat for a beer. Good evening, Jill. Enjoy your beer, Mr. February, Mr. March, and Mr. April. Any preference, Reggie? Which one?
February.
Your February. Fair play. I said she might change your mind if you go any later.
Yeah. It's the shortest month, so it suits me down to the ground.
Yeah, I'll go in quick before she changes her mind. Absolute comedy gold. Loving it. But hello to Jill. And actually, Jill will be hosting the Tackle Talk podcast for the next couple of weeks while Steph is in Vegas. We are hoping to get some videos from our members over in Vegas, but Jill is stepping in as deputy host for Tackle Talk, the only Super League ladies, Betfred men's ladies podcast out there for you to listen to. This week's is available now, as too is the Final Hooters. So yeah, get them downloaded. Trust me, really good to hear. So much different chat going on around so many supporters. That's what Super League Raw does. It gives everybody a platform, which is absolutely marvelous. But yeah, I mean, like I say though, Reggie, as Steph's saying there, this is, it's just it feels to me, it does feel to me like Super League is in a good place. It's moving forward. The one thing that is missing now is a partner, a TV partner that's going to put the money where their mouth is and allow it to get even better. Because with an improved, I think we're at a point now where with an improved TV deal, I think there's more accountability now in terms of where this money would be spent than it was back in 1996 when it was just squandered away. And I think if they can come to the party with the owners that we've now got, it could go on and go on again, couldn't it?
Well, 100%. Yeah, I agree totally with that. We need a TV deal that appreciates the sport. And we need that, that's why a lot of clubs have been struggling over the last few years, because that TV deal has gone down and down in value over the last 10, 15 years. As Steph says, if it looks good on TV, it's a saleable product to TV companies. And you've got to take your hats off to the clubs themselves for the way they've driven this. This opening weekend has been driven by the clubs. It would seem that IMG and what they put in place might be starting to have some effect now. In connection with what the clubs are doing. The RFL has got to sit up and take note of this and get behind it if they've not already. We don't know what conversations goes on behind the scenes with the clubs and with the RFL. We're not privy to that. So, but yes, is a short answer to what you said. If something like DAZN or a terrestrial channel that really wants to highlight the sport in conjunction. A few years ago, we had Channel 5, and that was really, really good. That they did more for the game in 2 years than Sky done over the previous 10, as far as I'm concerned, in promoting the game, talking the game up. We've still got Sky presenters who are talking the game down and would rather focus on the negatives. Channel 5 actually promoted the game. They had presenters. Channel 4, sorry. They had presenters. They had pundits who had a real enthusiasm for the game, who wanted the game to succeed. And that's what we need going forward. Couldn't agree more, Dave. With this, with the effort the clubs have put in, and the fans have done their part. Rugby league fans get a lot of flack sometimes for being non-committal. They've done their part. The clubs have done their part. It's now time for the RFL to do their part and negotiate a TV deal that continues driving this great sport forward.
I have been hearing, though, today quite a few breaking news stories over the cap being scrapped. Some of the big heavyweights, the Hull teams, Leeds, Warrington, Wigan, all wanting the cap to be no more and that they can spend what they want. There's a part of me that, and then there's the argument that, they could attract, if they want to pay £1 million for Nathan Cleary, I heard one say. The problem with that, we're not in that. For me, We've had a really good Super League for the last 3 years because it's been close. We've got genuinely so many teams at this moment in time outside of that 6 that are competing and could really do a job. Steph, increase the cap slightly by all means, but to just squander it completely, I think would, again, I think it's personally, it's just my opinion. I think it takes the sport back. I think it's got to be managed properly.
All right, I think a lot of that's some egos coming to the table as well from the so-called bigger clubs there. If they want to sign Nathan Cleary at £1 million, they can do it now. It's called a marquee player. So why haven't they done it? So, it's that I don't buy that at all. The aforementioned clubs you mentioned there lost 2 million, 3 million quid last season. So they've got to find another $1 million to spend on Nathan Cleary, have they? Right. Okay, then. Yeah, let's have some more Salford situations come about then very, very quickly.
And that is the point. That is the point, isn't it? Because if it's only good these people saying I want to go out and buy bigger players and really put my club even more stress, but that benefactor leaves, like Salford, we're in a mess, aren't we?
Absolutely. But like I said, how many Nathan Clearys are they going to buy? So it's not going to be more than 2, is it? So they can already do that under the current rules. So, but for me, yes, I agree with increasing the cap, and I think some of the players in our sport deserve to be paid a bit more than what they are. But what we don't want to do is a situation where it looks like we've made the right decision by going to 14, albeit very early days. What we don't want to do is then put those clubs at the bottom end financially under even more pressure. We want competitive games. We want games where the bottom teams can be beating the top sides in one-off games. But yeah, I don't buy that. I think that's just bravado because, like I said, they can go and sign Nathan Cleary now if they wanted to.
Absolutely. Craig, this isn't a hoodie, sir. This is a polo, sir. It's a polo shirt, just to let you know. But yes, this is very nice. Very nice indeed. Yes, our new badge has gone down very, very well around the stadium, I have to say. People are liking the new Super League Raw badge. It's nice to see it's paid off. But there you go. That's by the by. Great stuff. Right. Before we talk St. Helens, because we will be talking St. Helens tonight, Mr. Roach has just entered the chat. So right on cue, should we do the first team of the week of 2026? Couple of surprises in here, boys. Here we go. The Super League Raw Team of the Week is proudly sponsored by the Pentagon Motor Group. Visit their website today to find the make and model that you desire at the right price. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 1 of the 2026 Betfred Super League season. Here we go again, and at 1 is the man who takes over from Matt Duffy at the wire, Kai Taylor Ray. He's quicker than a rail light, just ask Jack Welsby, who looked like he was running on a treadmill as Kai raced. Bye-bye. At 2 is Zach Eckersley, who combined brilliantly with Bevan French, time and again on the right edge to put any nerves that the Warriors faithful had firmly to bed. They were grasping Tinky Winky as they were going to the night garden for their bubbles. At 3, well, it would be Wonga to not put Wonga Blake in our Team of the Week. Tries to say some running power. We're on show to let everyone know that his second crack at Super League may just be better than his first. At 4 is Sam Wood, who showed any Tigers fans who thought he was a willow, perhaps bendy and breakable, that he still has oak characteristics and on his day is a centre to be reckoned with. At 5 is Connor Wynn, who, like the hotel in Vegas, stood tall despite defeat at the hands of his former employers, FC, on Saturday. He's still only 25, and with a 50% try to games ratio, could Connor be a secret weapon for the Bulls this year? At 6, well, wherever he lays his atter, that's his home and it's firmly at York, and by the look in the Robins' eyes, I could tell that they were going to cry. Was it over Hingano's drop goal? Oh, yes it was. At 7 is Lachlan Lamb, who picks up where he left off in 25. This was a juicy performance that fell off the bone with rosemary and timing to perfection. Man a still contender, anyone? At 8 is the big bopper, Patrick Mago, who said, "Hello, baby," to the Tigers team on Sunday as he barged through them as if they were Chantilly lace. Oh, yes, that's what I like. At 9 is Danny Walker, the Warrington Wolves, who proved how vital he will be to the wire going forward. The desperate Dan lookalike played with calm and composure, putting the Wolves on the front foot time and again. Hook speed will be in his favour. At 10 is Cooper Jenkins, who deputised brilliantly for Michelangeleski. Just like the great late Tommy, he has the ability to have the audience in the palm of his hands at times, and for his try, well, just like that is all I could hear you cry. At 11, it's not Howard, as this man doesn't need to carry on for last. Oh, no, it's not Ditore, albeit he knows how to put a stallion in its place. No, it's Frankie Holton, who once more showed his value in defence and attack to the Leopards. Quality! At 12, who needs Chico time when you've got Mellor time? Alex Mellor, with a captain's knocking defeat for the Tigers, proves once more why we at Super League Raw rate him as one of the best around. And finally, at 13, is the man who, like Andy, deserves to be at the right hand of any godfather. Oh yes, it's of course Ben Garcia, back in his rightful position and doing what he does best, to slay the Giants in Perpignan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Team of the Week for round number 1. So there you go. The Super League Raw Team of the Week is back for 2026. And yes, there are a few surprises in there, I am sure. As you know, we call it straight at Super League Raw. There will be a lot of surprises, I'm sure, in there. I think it's only right and appropriate that we go through these because, I mean, for example, full-back, there could have been a Will Price. Great performance for Hull FC. Ali Oshelbot, I have to say, outstanding for Toulouse. But for me, it had to be Kai. I thought the way in which he just completely dismantled St. Helens in that first half, Steph, it was a thing of beauty.
Well, he gave Super League some good highlight reels this week on the old Facebook, didn't he? So yeah, no, it was a brilliant performance from Kai. And player is under immense pressure to fill in the boots of Matt Duffy, isn't he? You know, a lot of expectations on Kai. And I thought he was great in the friendly against Lee. And he really stepped up in this one against a pretty decent Saints side.
Well, there's our Rebecca, of course, not for long now until she's 40 and she's gone and got a drink, of course, the owner of the first Ladies Tackle Talk hoodie that came off the production line. Our Rebecca, good evening to you. Let's talk centres, Greg. Now, look, people might have thought that Albert Hopoate goes in there and don't get McDonald in his back pocket all night. I thought Apuati had an incredible debut. Tessie New at Lee had a stellar game for Lee. But look, facts are facts. I mean, what Wonga Blake, I don't know if you saw the game, but this was a completely different Wonga Blake than what Saints saw. He was breaking tackles. His offloading was incredible. For me, as I said in commentary there, to not have Wonga in our team would have been Wonga.
You're just saying right, Dave. I had a chuckle at that when he said it. Proved his doubts as wrong. There was a lot of chat, I think, last week around Wonga being, when we did the squads, there was a lot of chat about Wonga Blake and they hadn't really fulfilled that P word that he had at Saints. And I think he proved his doubters wrong last week. I think it was an all-round centre display, defensively and attacking wise, and creativity as well. And up against the team he was up against, superb performance. Completely agree with that.
Yeah, I thought Sam Wood for York, really strong both sides of the ball. Obviously vital tries, but also very good in defence. Delighted for Connor Wynn again on a beaten Bradford Bulls, but to go back to the MKM and took his tries really, really well. I was pleased for Connor. Let's talk halfback, Steph. I mean, look, Lockie Lamb and Ngannou, they were my picks. I have to say though, the Catalan boys very, very unlucky. Both Toby Sexton and Lewis Dodd in really poor conditions. I felt could have had a shot at this and were very much in my mind. As too was Bevan French, who was steady away against Castleford. For me, I thought Ngannou, first game in Super League for York this week, superb, and Lockie picked up where he left off.
Yeah, well, he's been hit and miss, Ngannou, and he was a former league player at one time. Didn't really set the world on fire at Lee, and I thought at Salford he was okay, but yeah, he really stepped up to the mark, and I think it's that consistency in the Championship has probably got his confidence up a little bit, and he looked a completely different player from what I've seen previously. So fair play to him. I thought he led York around the pitch superbly well, and his kicking game was good to boot. And Lockie Lamb just continues to do Lockie Lamb things, doesn't he? He was outstanding again for Lee, absolutely crucial to everything that Lee do. And I thought Adam Cook had a really good debut for Lee, and you can already see he's starting to take a bit of pressure away from Lockie, so that should put the league on notice as far as that one's concerned.
Now, we had a bit of sport, I think it was last season, maybe the season before, when Patrick Mago came on and took a man of the match performance after 10 minutes. But that said, when Mago and Partington came on at Castleford, that game swung, Reggie. Mago was a wrecking ball. They just couldn't live with him. And I think that, we've been saying about Castleford, that's my concern for Castleford, in the fact that I think they're too light up front, and Mago absolutely proved that point. When he came on, he just ran holes in him.
Yeah, there's not a lot more I can add to that, Dave. He made mincemeat out of that defence, and it was impressive stuff. I think Sipley did well coming off the bench for Warrington for his debut. I think he did. But I think Mago was different gravy when he came on for Wigan, and he really got that Castleford team, put them on the back foot and Wigan on the front foot. So, yeah, 100% agree with you there, Dave.
Yeah. I thought Belmas was decent for Toulouse as well, and I have to say that. He was good value on the night. I thought, speaking of night was all right. I mean, Paul Vaughan. I mean, you've got to give Vaughan his due. I mean, big minutes, led from the front for York. But Steph, you saw Cooper Jenkins up close for the Rhinos. I mean, obviously deputising for Mikel Agilesky, coming up against the likes of Mulhern and Joffa. I thought Cooper Jenkins had a fine game for Leeds and was probably one of their better, if not their best player on the park.
Yeah, well, I did say that on the final Uta this week. I did reference how well I thought Cooper played. I thought he was outstanding for Leeds and went toe to toe with the physical Lee Pack. For a young lad, he was very impressive, and I think he was arguably their best player.
Yeah, I agree. Now, of course, people will have a little one. Danny Walker, I mean, look, we spoke all last season how pivotal he is for the Warrington Wolves. And again, there'll be people out there saying Edwin Ipape, without doubt, his name will be being thrown around. He had a good game against Leeds. But I think what, Greg, we saw at the Halliwell Jones Stadium is these faster rucks are going to be they're just primed for Danny Walker, primed. And what we noticed in commentary, because we did a bit of commentary for rugbyleague.com, and that's something that you can listen to this season, by the way. Me and Greg will be doing Warrington Wolves commentary for rugbyleague.com. So you'll be able to listen to us, turn Sky down, listen to us. You might have to delay Sky by about 30 seconds to match it up. But hey, if you give me and Greg a listen, see what you think. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just felt that Danny really benefited when Toff came on, Toff Sipley, because he was barging through, he was winning collision, and then virtually every time Toff Sipley took a drive in, Walker was scooting from dummy half and making a real nuisance of himself.
Yeah, and that those new rules are going to benefit the teams that have got big forwards and really nippy hookers. Going back to Danny Walker, when Tanginoa was off the bench as well, he made hay. That little pass through to Kai when he went through for his try. It wasn't only his runs from dummy half. It was the way he controlled the game from dummy half as well. The little passes that he put on. And Edwin Ipape had a fantastic game, and I did wonder when I was thinking about your team of the week, who you would pick. And I wouldn't have been disappointed if either had got in, but Danny Walker, when he saw what he did on the field on the night, was again one of the main differences between us and Saints. He had Daz Clark, and you don't often see this. He had Daz Clark in his back pocket all throughout that game when he was on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very close. I just think Danny's defensive work in the game as well was edged in past Pape. Did a bit more defensively than
the two class hookers, Pape and Walker, and we'll benefit from a fit Walker this season.
Yeah, and a special mention for Litton as well, who got himself up off the canvas and had a decent game for KR, it must be said. You'll see Frankie Orton's been put in, and Alex Mellor, two unsung heroes for me, Steph, in Super League. These two, Frankie's defensive work, absolutely incredible. And I don't know if you saw it in the graphics, but their tackle efficiencies again were just incredible. The amount of work they get through in defence is incredible.
Yeah, they're two really, really good players. Like you say, not glamour players of Super League. Probably wouldn't even be thought of to be in a team of the week by most people. But no, both outstanding this weekend. Really, really good. And yeah, good to see them both appearing in the team of the week this week.
Yeah, I mean, many people would say, well, where's George Lawler? He scored a try, but the Super League Raw tries don't necessarily get you in team of the week. We look at the entire performance, and Mellor defensively and in attack was stronger. Yes, Lawler got a try, and what a try-scoring record George Lawler's on. He was outstanding for Casford last year, and he started off well this year. And then, of course, Ben Garcia back in at loose forward. Great to see Ben back in team of the week. And it won't be the last time we see him. It was mad, wasn't it, Greg? Because, for the years that we've been doing this, Ben Garcia has always been thereabouts, always been in plenty of team of the weeks, but it was quite a barren year for him last year, as it was for a lot of Catalan players, because he's in his rightful position. He goes back to 13, and he just does what Ben Garcia does, very, very assured at 13.
Yeah. He's a 13 all day long. He can play. That the problem is he can play elsewhere in the park. I think they might have even had. Were they playing him at prop last season as well? I think they played him at every position, including hooker at one point last season because of various factors. But yeah, I think he's class, and he's a class loose forward, and he's got the experience of a few years in Super League under his belt, which will help him this season. Will help the Catalans.
No, we've got a very varied team of the week. We go on performance. We go on best in position. We don't look at badges. We look at players. And as has been proven there, you don't have to be on a winning team either. If you have played a stellar game in your position, what more can you do? You're in our team of the week, and rightly so. We give praise where it is due. Right, of course, coming up later in the week is the Captain's Run. And of course, we've got a brand new prediction league. We're not going to tell you, we're not going to show you anything on that, but here it is. You can still join. We're a part of Super Brew. Go to Super Brew. Get into that. Dead easy to use. Just go into the Super League pool, set up your team, set up your predictions, and then join the Super League Raw Prediction League. If you're a member and you haven't done this yet, hurry up, because you don't want to fall too far behind. It's only week one, and the prizes are incredible. The winner is going to get 250 quid towards their season ticket in 2027. Runner-up will get their replica shirt next season, and then in third place, you're going to get a Super League Raw hoodie. All the information that you need is there on screen. The prediction comp, there's a QR code. Get onto it. You know it makes sense. Go on to Super Brew, and if you need any help in setting that up, just email me at info@superleagueraw.com. That's info@superleagueraw.com, and you can become a part of that league already. It's going to be fascinating, and it saved me a lot of work, I don't mind telling you, but can't wait to give you the first league table as part of Captain's Run, which is coming up on Thursday a little earlier, 5:30 p.m, because of course Sky starts at 6:30 for the World Cup Challenge, so we're going to go out a little bit earlier. That's going to be available as a podcast and a webcast, so if you're not at the game, you can watch from 5:30 our Captain's Run, all the analytics. It's a great show. Last week's is already on our YouTube channel. Go and give it a look, because it'll give you a flavour of what's coming, albeit there's going to be more analytics this week because we're off and running in terms of round number 1. And if you're traveling to the World Club Challenge, then get it on in your car, Spotify and Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. Just go Super League Raw, and on the same one you'll get the Ladies Tackle Talk, Final Hooter, and of course Super League Raw Weekly. We download this as well, just in case you can't watch it on a Tuesday. You can still listen to it in the car. Right, boys, let's just change our focus a little bit before we move on to other things that we've got planned this evening. And I think it's only right and appropriate that we talk St Helens. Now, look, John Wilkins come out this week, disappointed that his mates have not been given, in his words, the respect that they deserve, the likes of Percival, etc. Now Mike Rush is leaving the Saints. It's clearly a changing of the guard. Steph, is this a good thing for Saints or not? Because there's a lot that, depending on which social media you read, some are upset, some are happy. What's your thoughts?
First and foremost, Mike's been a great servant to the Saints club, hasn't he? And he's, you just read his CV and how many titles they've won and cups they've won under, his tenure as, from being an academy coach right up to being the CEO. So, from a stalwart of that club, it's a sad day to see Mike go. However, I do think the change is needed at Saints. Sometimes you can get that bit of a fatigue in the boardroom or wherever in the back rooms of rugby league clubs. What's really important for Saints now is recruiting the right replacement for him, if they do recruit a replacement for him. We all know Paul's ambitions at Salford were to move up to director of rugby and that kind of thing. So how long does Paul want to be a head coach for at Saints? That's another question. Is it just an interim period where he gets them to a point where they do bring somebody else in as head coach and Paul moves up into a role similar to that? Who knows? But it does feel like it's a transitional period, and sometimes a change is as good as a rest. So maybe it is the right time for Saints to start making some changes.
Yeah, just in answer, the info at Super League is not full. I've been getting emails today, so that's a myth. Anybody who's reading that in the chat, info@superleague.com is not full. I've got emails coming through today. It perhaps is because you're not a Six Again member that you're not in the WhatsApp group. Six Again members get WhatsApp group. Got to go to the website. Just saying. It's not in the benefits. Just saying. If it's not in the benefits listed, you can't come in the WhatsApp group. Six Again or above. Just saying. Reggie, Percival, rumours off to Huddersfield. There's big rumours that he might be going to Huddersfield. Mike Rush now leaving. I mean, does this put pressure on Paul straight off the bat? In the fact that, there's going to be a lot of Saints. I mean, the St Helens fans are wobbling like you wouldn't believe. I mean, they really are. Not only are they disappointed that they've lost out to the Warrington Wolves, but, you've got them coming out saying it's Salford in disguise after game one. They're all over the place. By all accounts, Lee now is a must-win game two. So if they don't win, does that mean Sack Rowley's going to come? I don't know. But
it's already been mentioned.
What's that, mate?
It's rally out has already been mentioned.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, and it's like these things are going to take time. But when you look at the age profile of the Saints squad, there had to be changes. It's simple as that. And I think we'd all agree. I think the changes are good. I mean, we saw Joe Shorrock's firsthand. I thought Joe Shorrock's had a very solid game, and you could see already the link up between Shorrock's and Hastings. We'd expect Sailor that it was starting to move. It was a bit clunky at times, but once that clicks, you could already see for me the makings of a good side. Rome isn't built in a day, is it?
Exactly. And I think Paul Rowley's, experienced enough not to let the off-field shenanigans distract him. He's had to put up with a lot at Salford last season. I think he'll go forward being Paul Rowley. He'll go forward doing his job and let the behind-the-scenes problems sort themselves out. And I agree with you. I said on commentary that I thought Shorrock's was the best Saints player on the pitch on Friday night. And who knows, if Wellens hadn't gone off injured, he was growing into the game. Wellens, after they were pummeled by Warrington that first half. If Wellens hadn't been injured, who knows what might have happened in that game. So, Saints, I said, Saints, if they score two quick tries, Warrington could wobble and Saints could come back and do what Saints are well renowned for doing it and snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. But going back to your question, I think Paul Rowley's too experienced to let the behind the scenes problems affect what he has to do. And once it starts affecting him, I think that's when, he has to make a decision about his future.
Yeah, I'm not saying anybody's telling lies in the chat, but I'm getting there's my email. They're still coming through on info. Maybe you went .co.uk and .com. Maybe. Just saying. But anyway, let's move on. Look, I mean, for me, I think Rome isn't built in a day. I think St. Helens look like a side that will develop into a fine side. It might take them 3 or 4 rounds just to gel, but like I say, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting to see the way the social media is going. And it's interesting. Everybody's laying this down at Paul Rowley's door, but the bottom line in that club is run by Eamon McManus. But Eamon McManus decides who is in position and who's not. I think Mike Rush has resigned. He's not been sacked. He's left of his own accord, and maybe there's reasons behind the scenes as to why that is. Maybe, but Eamon McManus is the one who's steering that ship, not Paul Rowley. So anything that's being decided has got the tick from Eamon McManus, and I think that Saints fans just need to be mindful of that. And let's be fair, this is a chairman that has overseen your club with great distinction. He hasn't made many errors in the time that he's been leading St. Helens. So for me, I think you've just got to settle down, Saints fans. It's going to be interesting to see how they go. And I think by the time we get to round 5, maybe round 6, I think we'll see a very exciting and expansive Saints. Before we move on, Jack Welsby, what a shocker. Absolute shocker. 4 months out, Steph. Innocuous challenge. I mean, I think it was Jill in the tackle talk, or one of the girls in the tackle talk said that, you see those every day, every week. But yeah, out for 4 months. I mean, does this solve a problem for Paul? Maybe in the short term. Maybe. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
It seems to be saying Nene to fullback, and that may well be the case. But I just think that's a wasted opportunity. I mean, you can't really see Percival coming in, can you, with everything that's going on there? So who are they going to put in at centre to replace Nene if they put Nene at fullback? For me, the obvious answer is to put Tristan Taylor to fullback in his actual position where he's played all his career, his best position. And then you've got, Lomax came on against Warrington and had a pretty decent game when he came on, didn't he? Failing that, then you've got George Whitby as well, who we all would like to see a bit like Mikhail Taylor-Ray given his chance, a bit like George Flanagan, a bit like Fletcher Rooney, so they've got options there, and it does give him an opportunity to play a marquee player in his correct position.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he was to put Nene at fullback, I think perhaps Dion Cross is going to go into centre, and I tell you, it's because Owen Dagnall, Owen Dagnall for me, got to play. So it's really interesting. St. Helens is really interesting at the moment. But like I said, I think by the time we get to 5 rounds, round 6, I think it could be interesting. Please in the chat, nobody ever speak for me, please. Never ever speak for me. I'll just say that. Right, okie dokie. Right, we did a new show, or we have done a new show, which is absolutely outstanding, called Instant Reaction. If you've missed this, then this is coming your way every week. Instant Reaction, the Super League Raw fans right at the final whistle, getting on the mics and telling us what they thought about their game. We'll give you a little taster, just a little taster. Apologies, I haven't included every one of the instant reactions, just a little bit of a taster. And I have to say, I couldn't not put Volstag's Comedy Gold in this little snippet. Here we go.
So here we are, instant reaction, Warrington 24, Saints 14, 8 in a row. Volstagg, what do you think about that?
Just put my gloves on, you ready then? Fair result, to be honest with you. I thought Warrington, better team first half. I thought ourselves were very, very lacklustre in the first half. It seemed more like a Wellens team over the first half. And then second half, they must have had the rocker up the backside of Paul. And I thought we'd come out fighting. What can I say? Gutted, absolutely gutted. First and foremost, massive congratulations to the York Knights. I was that Rovers fan back in 2007 when we first come into Super League, did the unthinkable against Wakefield. So I know them York fans are feeling right now. From a KR point of view, devastated. You know, that first half we put massive pressure on them, on their line, and we just couldn't get over the line. So again, massive credit to the York Knights for their scramble defence.
big hopes for the season, but if we tackle like that, keep going, I don't think we're going to get anything. Just a quick one. I'm going to go home now and drown my sores. At least it's half term and I've got a week off work. Roll on Huddersfield.
Yeah, and what about Welsby? Looks serious.
Yeah. I mean, I give him a clap off and he didn't even clap me back. So it must be serious.
Well done to everybody involved in that. When Rolstag said I nearly dropped the camera, that was comedy gold. Well done to everybody who got involved in that. We need, as it said on the graphic, we need Bradford Bulls fans. We need York Knights fans. We need you. We desperately need you. So if you are a supporter of the Catalan Dragons, Bradford Bulls, or York Knights, come and join Super League Raw membership. Come and be a roving reporter as part of Instant Reaction. More of that is coming your way. Absolutely outstanding edition. Really enjoyed that at the weekend. We've got more coming. We've got, I think Baz is doing another one after the World Club Challenge. But yeah, there'll be plenty more of those coming this weekend. So keep your eyes out for Instant Reaction on our YouTube channel. Wonderful stuff. In the same spirit as the Prediction League, if you've not joined the Fantasy League yet, why haven't you done that? I think we're getting on for nearly 200 players in our Super League Raw 26 Fantasy League. If you are listening on the podcast, then all you need to do is go over to the official Fantasy League, do your team. If you've already got one, just search Super League Raw 26. No gaps, just Super League Raw 26. Pin number is 12378, and the password is capital S, small L, capital R, hashtag 2026. Come and join our league. If you're a member and you haven't done this yet, then you're missing out on the opportunity of winning some great prizes. The first place one is going to be a Challenge Cup final ticket for 2027, and that's going to be for Club Wembley. Second place, a replica shirt, and third place will be either a beanie or a baseball cap. So yeah, plenty of great prizes there for you. So yeah, make sure you become a part of that. Right, let's get the little man out. Here we go.
What Would Oliver Say is proudly sponsored by South Coast Lane Carpets. From shag pile to vinyl, nylon to wool, you are guaranteed to find the right fit for your home. Contact them today and tell them Oliver sent you. This is What Would Oliver Say at Super League Raw. It's the week of the World Cup Challenge, OKR taking on the Brisbane Broncos. I think that it's going to be all about how Rovers handle the speed early on, because the Broncos play at proper NRL tempo. But if KR can slow the ruck down and turn it into a grind, they've definitely got a chance. Dangerman for Brisbane is the likes of Reece Walsh. He's electric, and if you give him space, he's gone and never to be seen. And also you have the likes of Adam Reynolds as well. His kicking game could pin KR all night and make it a dread for all KR players. But on the other hand, Mikey Lewis is the key. If he runs the ball and challenges the line, he can cause problems. And Jez Litton around the ruck too. He'll try to tire those big Broncos middles. I think KR will be well up for it and the crowd will be massive. But over 80 minutes, Brisbane's power probably edges it. I'm saying probably Broncos by 8, but if Rovers start fast, it's definitely game on. What do you think, Super League Raw?
Always a pleasure to see little Ol outstanding, and we'll forgive him this week for his, he's a good lad. He doesn't go his own team that often, but we'll forgive him this week, of course, because it's World Club Challenge Week. What incredible fare that we have got on Thursday evening. Will it be another win for the English side, or will the Brisbane Broncos come over and spoil it for the Robins? We will get into this one, of course, as part of Captain's Run on Thursday. But, boys, we couldn't do a show tonight without mentioning the World Club Challenge. It would have been frowned upon, wouldn't it? Greg, I'll start with you. As a Brisbane fan, you are going to be openly wanting Brisbane to win because you are a keen follower of Brisbane down in the NRL, are you not?
I am, and I apologise to my friends from Hull KR, but this week I'm an Aussie. They were the first team, and I've followed them for years down in Australia. The grand final winners. I've waited a few years since the last time I won it about 5-6 years ago. But yeah, do you know what? I don't think the Broncos are going to have it all their own way. I think Hull KR, especially that defeat against York, could be just what Hull KR needed. If they'd have wiped the floor with the York Knights, I said Bradford then, with the York Knights, I'm not saying complacency might have crept in, but they need to up the game. Mikey Lewis will have had a flea in his ear about his behaviour, and he'll be told that if you do that against the Aussies, they're going to be winding you up all game, and you've got to control your temper, your petulance. You've got to keep it under wraps. I think a lot of people over the years have backed Aussie teams against English teams and have been surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if KR pull this off. They've had a few games under belt. They've had a tough game against York Knights. A result that nobody was backing, and it's just like KR to come out and with everybody writing them off, especially after that result on Thursday, could just turn it around and could just cause another shock, another upset for an English team in the World Club Challenge.
I mean, it's going to be littered with great quality players. Of course, everybody's looking forward to seeing Reece Walsh-Steff on British shores, and again, I had the privilege of watching him in the Ashes, of course, and there's nothing better, is there? I mean, again, Adam Reynolds. I mean, what a pro Reynolds has been throughout his career. A real stand-up black bloke as well. Real quality is Adam Reynolds. It's going to be interesting, this, because for me, on paper, as good as KR were last year, on paper, Brisbane have got the stronger side. I think it'd be hard to disagree with that. But games aren't won on paper, as we've seen in the last two World Club Challenges.
I know they're not, and as daft as it sounds, I think that York game could have been exactly what KR needed. It was a bit of grounding for them. It was a bit of humility for them. I believe they asked to play one of the lower teams as preparation for the World Club Challenge game. So that will have definitely humbled a few players at KR. But in the positive way of that, I think we'll see a reaction from KR. What the great thing is going to be the spectacle. To see the MKM, and I know it's not Craven Park, but to see that ground, which is a top facility, absolutely packed out, is going to be phenomenal. And I know they'll put on a great show there. The build-up will be phenomenal for it, and it's going to be a phenomenal night for British Rugby League to showcase what events we can put on. And also, it's great for the city of Hull as well to have the spotlight on them, and thoroughly deserved as well. It's young Oli must not really think he's bored. He's been to Old Trafford, he's been to Wembley. Now he gets to go to a World Club Challenge. Most of us wait lifetimes. Some of us will never get that in a lifetime. Yeah. So for the young KR fans, what a ride it's been, and then culminating the thing, and then not the cherry on the top is then to go to Las Vegas and play in Las Vegas. So they've not had it that bad, these young LKR fans, have they? But also I'm really pleased for the long suffering fans of KR that they get to go to an event like this. Just like young Oli, they've waited 40, 50 years to be in this kind of limelight and this spotlight put on that city. From that perspective, and for the businesses in that community as well, we're a part of pretty much a northern sport where our towns do struggle, and the amount of revenue that this game is going to bring into that city for the weekend is going to be phenomenal as well. So I'm just really looking forward to the game. I don't particularly care who wins, but I will be obviously supporting OKR. I want, they're a team I've got a very affinity to as a Leigh fan, because I feel we're on slightly the same trajectories as clubs as where we're going. So I'm really pleased that they get the limelight. I'm really pleased that they get to host such a prestigious event, and I just hope on the night Rugby League's the winner, and the fans do the occasion justice as well. Let's not forget that.
Absolutely. Nige, thank you very much indeed for the beer, sir. Absolute gentleman and scholar. Well done, Chief. Wonderful stuff. But, exactly that. I mean, look, there was controversy in the Wigan Penrith game. It was outstanding. It had a bit of everything. Tries that shouldn't be given, tries that were given. It just had a bit of everything, didn't it? Some real quality as well. Leeming. There you go. Here's my 6 again. Top up, Mr. Bibby going in. You can't do it on here, mate. You've got to do it through the website. You know what I'm saying? You've got to do it through the website. But thank you very much indeed for the top up. Very kind. But yeah, I just hope it's a great game. And you're right. It's got to be razzmatazz. It's got to be built up to the hill. Let's hope that Rugby League is the winner. It should be. I mean, it's listed with that much quality on the field. And I don't know about you, but when Jez Litton passed his HIA, I was relieved, because if there's one player that I'd have been devastated. I mean, and Mikey Lewis had got banned. I'm not devastated for Mikey, because it'd have been, sorry, mate, but, sorry, but if you're going to be stupid, you've got nobody to blame but yourself. But had Jez Litton have missed out for HIA protocols, I'd have been devastated for Jez. I was so relieved, as I'm sure you were, Reggie, when he managed to get himself back on the field.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine how he felt when that happened, and you could see it. You could actually see it in his face when he's looking up at the trainer, thinking, "Oh, please, don't say HIA." And yeah, delighted that he's passed that. As you say, it would have been a shame for Jez Litton to miss that occasion, because I think this is a chance for him to show maybe something he didn't have the chance to in the Ashes, and that he is a great player. Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I'm glad he passed that HIA. I'm glad he's playing.
I mean, look, we all rate Jez Litton, and we've got this massive exodus that's heading off to the NRL. There's no doubt about it. If Jez Litton lights up the World Club Championship, I mean, talk about put yourself on a stage. I mean, we all expect Jez to be a part of the World Cup at the end of the season. But yeah, absolutely over the moon for Jez. Right, we'll probably go on for about 5 minutes more. Like I say, Super League, we're a little bit short this week, but we've got through loads of good stuff there for you this evening. But before we go, let's continue the debate and the chat and the merriment whilst we've got a few moments. The after show party will, of course, be available for our members straight after the show. All you need to do is go over to the WhatsApp and use the social link, and you can get on there and you can go and have a chat, and you can go and agree, disagree with what we've had to say. If you want to be a part of the membership and do the after show party and keep talking Super League well into the night, then get over to our website at superleagueraw.com. Right, boys. What a weekend. I mean, let's just go back to the weekend that was. We'll build up round 2 and the World Club Challenge on Captain's Run on Thursday. I'll kick us off. I just want to pick out some really, really nice moments from the weekend. And I like an offload. I like soft hands. I like a bit of Demi Moore on a pottery wheel, boys. You know that. I thought for Tarpey's ball for Tommy Makinson's try at Catalan. Oh, yes, that was mastery. Beautiful stuff from Tarpey there. Almost as good as McIntosh's. Hey, what about that, Steph? Bit of McIntosh. Hey, lovely little offload there off the floor. Go on, son. I do like an offload. 2 absolute wonderful moments in 2 games there. I do like a good offload. I think somebody, we were watching the Wigan game. And I think with one of the Eckersley tries where it was going across, and I know you had a giggle at that one, Mr. Sayre, when you said, "Oh, great hands from Wigan." I said, "Yeah, soft hands." It was like caressing Sutty, and you enjoyed that one, mate, in the chat. I know. Anyway, Reggie, anything from the weekend that you think that was a moment?
Well, I'm going the obvious place, mate. I always will. Kai Taylor-Ray's acceleration for that try against Saints. Actually, no. I'm going to go back to Josh Smith. When he took that ball in goal, way out of the in-goal area. Saints were on the front foot. He takes the ball in goal. He makes yardage. Off the back of that, we get a penalty, and that leads to King's first try of the game. Kai Taylor-Ray, great acceleration, but that little piece of skill to get out of the in-goal area, for me, was a turning point in that game, and that for me was a real big highlight. The drop goal for York. I love a good drop goal. I'm always shouting for the 1-pointer. So there were 2 highlights for me this weekend.
Well, moment of the weekend for me was watching York players after the final whistle, says Paul Fell. Yeah, that was a lovely, lovely stuff indeed. Steph, any things that you want to pick out from what was an exceptional first round of Rugby League football?
I'll go with Toulouse, because I don't think no one's mentioned those yet in terms of the moment of the week. I think they're, under the pressure they were under to see that one through was phenomenal, especially after hitting the post 3 times with their conversions on the trot as well. To still manage to get the win was great. No, I just think for me the crowds, the pre-match build-ups, as well. I think everyone's up in the game. I do wish Sky would show more of that instead of having the music over it and stuff. If clubs are going to spend thousands of pounds on pre-match, then yes, it's great for the people in the ground, but also show the people who are not on the ground, who are missing out, what they're missing out on. But it's great to see that. I know my club leads in that respect, but great to see Warrington doing it. Great to see Wakefield doing it. Great to see Hull FC doing it. Castleford had a bit of a thing with their one as well. So this is what we want, and this is what brings the kids, the families. It's not just we're purists. We love what's on the field, but just to see the people's faces, like the league game this weekend, they went up another level, and it was just people were looking around going, "What the heck?" It was like a grand final. The stuff that was going off. So that's the highlight for me. It was the spectacle that all the clubs put not only on the field but off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve Cartledge, Greg, the Hopewati try that never was, had that have not been a knock on him back.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous what he did on that edge.
Special. He's going to be a special player if he stays fit. Warrington have unearthed a little gem there. Absolutely. Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. He got chalked off.
It was a shame. And if Greg's going to go there for Kai Taylor-Ray, Sam Halsall, take a bow for the Huddersfield Giants. What a lovely little run that was from our Sammy down the right edge. Beautiful stuff from the Halsall. I think Mr. Staines thought, I've got him here. And he was gone. Absolutely gone. Incredible. Greg's gone. Everybody's gone. He was gone. Greg was like Staines then. He was gone. He was done. He was finished. He was off. Outstanding from Halsall. And I'll tell you what was good as well in that game. Was the Grubbers, the Lewis Dodd one for Condon. Yes, I said that right, ladies and gentlemen. And Lola Heyer for Flanagan's. Two lovely little dinks. I do like a grubber kick. I like an offload. I like a grubber kick. And I tell you what I like, Steph. I tell you what I liked, and you've not mentioned it. Not many people put Everyday Pappy down like that. Pooh, George Brown, take a bow. Go on, lad.
I thought his kicking game was phenomenal in that he put some great kicks in. For such a young lad. But wow, what a tackle that was on Edwin. He did what Edwin does to other people, didn't he? And Edwin got a bit of his own medicine. But yeah, Edwin Pappy's made of granite. So to do that to a player like him was at such a young age. And this, we've talked a lot about Warrington, their academy and the talents that they're starting to bring through. And I know you say 2028 will be Warrington's year in terms of those players. The conveyor belt at Leeds, wow. The players that they're starting to bring through. And this is where I think, I know we had to with Jack Sinfield moving on, but I think this lad did more in that one game than Jack Sinfield's done in the other, to impress me in terms of, and I'm not saying that.
See Sharpie in the chat. So for those listening, for those people who don't know, Alex Sharp loved Jack Sinfield. He was trying to tell us for the last 2 years that Jack Sinfield was going to be the future number 7 at Leeds. And we were having none of it. And no sooner does George Brown have one game in the first team. That's it. Jack who? He's all over George now. Oh, what a turncoat. Anyway, sorry. I had to line Sharpie up on that. Carry on, mate.
Yeah, no, but that's not saying that Jack's not a very, very good player, and I'm sure he's going to go well when he gets his opportunity at Wakefield. But for me in this game, he just really impressed me, and I never had that with Jack in terms of more so for a half. His defence was spot. It wasn't just that tackle on Papu, which was the highlight. It was all game. He didn't. I don't think he missed a tackle. And Lee obviously went at it and they targeted him because you would do with a young player. And I just thought, for such a young lad, he had him and Cooper Jenkins were brilliant for Leeds.
Couldn't agree with you more. And look, this is what makes Super League. How positive are we about the great game of Super League? Hey, no negativity here, none at all. It's all positive stuff. We said a 14-team Super League was worth a go, and they've delivered in round number 1. And hopefully York, Bradford and Toulouse can continue to do exactly that. Toulouse at home this week. We'd bet against Toulouse to go back to back. That's going to be interesting. All of that coming, of course, on the captain's run. And Greg, one of the other things that I was pleased for was Zach Eckersley, of course, given the number 2 shirt at Wigan this season. I thought him and Bevan French for large periods, especially at the back end of that first half, some lovely interchange on the right-hand side for the Wigan Warriors. I mean, no disrespect to Abasmiski. He's been a great pro for Wigan. He's done a really good job for him, but I'm really excited about Zach Eckersley this year. It was a great start from him.
Yeah, and he deserves his chance because over the past 2 or 3 years, he's fitted in where Wigan have wanted him, fullback, centre, wing, and they've kind of moved him around. And I think it's great he's been given a shirt, and I think it'll be to Wigan's benefit because I've got a lot of time for Zach Eckersley. I think he's a great player. He scored the opening try of the Challenge Cup final when they played us a couple of years ago. Nothing phases him. I've seen him have one bad game, and that's when we beat them 40 points to 4 at the Brick. Other than that, I think he's already a class player and can only get better. Yeah, Zach Eckersley is a great player.
Harvey Barron as well. Harvey Barron, I think him and Eckersley are very similar wingers. And then you've got Dagnall as well. I think all 3 of those are on the same mould, aren't they?
Let's not forget Lewis Martin.
Lewis Martin as well. Yeah. There's some phenomenal good wingers, good young wingers.
I don't think much of that in this senior though.
We'll see at the end of the season on that one.
It's Ernie's brother.
Happy days, good time, happy days.
But look, this is what I mean. There's so much to be happy about. Some incredible players on show this weekend just gone. Hopefully they can deliver more incredible entertainment, and I'm sure they will this weekend. It's the greatest game on earth. That's why we do what we do. We love this great game of rugby league. We love our membership. We love being around people that love it just as much as we do. And if you love your rugby league as much as we do, then come and be a part of it. Come and be a part of what we do. Trust me, it will absolutely elevate your season this year. Become a member. There's the QR code. All the benefits of membership is on our website, www.superleagueraw.com, and make sure you take a look at that. Right, what lovely stuff have you got to look forward to this week? Well, tomorrow, of course, we turn our attention to the Championship Rugby League with Craig Lingard. Craig will be joining me once again. Of course, no game for Sheffield Eagles this week. Of course, they were due to play Halifax, so another week off for Craig. I'll be getting Craig's views on Barrow as well tomorrow for that. So tomorrow, 7 p.m. on YouTube, Championship Rugby League with Craig Lingard. There's not many independent Championship Rugby League podcasts out there, but we have got one with Craig Lingard this year. There's loads that the clubs do, but there's nothing like this. It doesn't get the airtime that it deserves, but we give it the airtime. So join me and Craig 7 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube for Championship Rugby League. Just go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll get your notifications every time we go live. And then, of course, on Thursday, we have got the captain's run. It was a great captain's run last week, but it's going to get better as the season goes on because we'll get head-to-heads going, we'll get the analytics going, we'll make that a bit more juicy for you. And, of course, we will keep you updated with who are the runners and riders for our big 2 competitions this year. That is, of course, the Prediction League and the Fantasy League. Just coming at you bigger and better in 2026 is Super League Raw. Incredible stuff. So there you go. The first week of Super League is in the record books, and it was sensational. The crowds were up. The viewing figures were up. The entertainment, despite the weather, was up. And we get to do it all again from Thursday onwards. The very best of luck to KR, but we are going to be back for the captain's run with regards to that. From us on the panel to you. If you don't know already, if it's the first time you've joined us, this is what you've got to look forward to in 2026 with Super League Raw. We will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. for more Super League Raw Weekly, because after all, you just can't beat a bit of weekly. After show party now, folks. Get yourself over there. Bye for now.